Yo, what's going on, Serpa Squad? Tanner here. This isn't the video I had lined up for this week, and in fact, I was working on a terrarium build that's over on the shelf there, nearly complete, but I just couldn't get the video done in the amount of time that I had set aside. I took this week off, or I should say the beginning of this week off, to spend time with my family, and really just be away from the computer, be away from the projects, and just relax for a second, because that's something that I really don't do very often, and I just wanted to take the time to do so. In doing that, I wasn't able to get that video done in time, so I figured I'd do a little 2019 recap, sort of like what I did last year for 2018, and just tell you guys a little bit about what happened this year. Well, to start, 2019 has been one of the craziest years yet for this channel. As many of you know, I've only been consistently uploading since the end of 2016, so all of this growth really has happened in the past 3 years. Although my channel's been around since 2013, but I didn't really upload much before that. However, 2019 puts all of the previous years to shame, and I'll give you the stats. I gotta get out the paper here because I can't possibly remember any of this stuff, but I'll do 2018 on the screen as well, and the lifetime, just to give you a frame of reference. In 2019 alone, the videos were viewed 22,844,098 times. In my mind, that's crazy because that's more than half of the lifetime views in this year alone. The channel was also viewed for 2,129,371 hours. Considering that more than doubles what happened last year, I know those are crazy stats when you break it out into days, months, and years, so I'll leave those up on the screen as well for your reference. I didn't get them while talking here, but I know that they're crazy, and in my mind that's just nuts that I'm just doing something that I enjoy doing, making terrariums, and just putting a lot of work into these videos, and that there's that many people engaged in what I'm doing here. But how does that translate to subscribers? Well, we gained 226,748 subscribers this year. That too is crazy because that's more than half of the current subscriber count in just this year alone. And I know that's partially due to the types of projects that I was uploading this year. A lot of the stuff that I just hadn't done on this channel before and really isn't on YouTube yet as of me uploading it on this channel. And I know that 2020 is going to be even crazier because I've only scratched the surface yet with these projects. My capabilities, the ideas that I'm coming up with, and trust me, 2020 is going to be crazy, but we'll get more into that as we get further into this video. Not only has 2019 been the best year for this channel so far, but it's also been really good to me in many other ways. As most of you know, I got married earlier in the year, and luckily I was able to share that with you guys up in this video here. I was really excited to do that because YouTube is a huge part of my life, and so are many of you because of YouTube, so I really just wanted to share that aspect of my life with you guys. Plus, since we were making a Unity terrarium, it really just fit into the whole theme of the channel, and I really just wanted to share that with you guys. So if you missed it, I definitely recommend checking out that video, and perhaps it will give you guys some ideas on whenever you get married someday, because it was a really special thing, and it's something that my wife and I are going to cherish for years to come. I also finally got a chance to go to 2 hobby-related events, first of which being Paludarium at Aquascape's headquarters in Chicago, Aqualand. That was an awesome time. I got to link up with some creators, a lot of the CACs, and I also got to build a 500-gallon Paludarium, which was my largest setup to date, and I have a few setups lined up that are going to be larger to that, but that was my largest one to date. And not only was it the biggest, but I also had to set it up before an audience, so that was really stressful for me, but it was an awesome learning experience, and I think I did a great job considering the situation. I also got to go to Aquashell in Chicago, and that was an equally cool time. I got to link up with a ton of creators and befriend a ton of them, and although we don't chat that much, so if any of you guys are watching and I haven't talked to you recently, I apologize. I know we're all busy, but we got to link up again at future events or online here, any of that sort of thing. So it was really cool to make friends with other creators who are sort of in the same profession, if you will. I also got to link up with a ton of you guys from the Serpa squad, which was so cool. You know, we're always talking through the keyboard and that sort of thing, but to actually see you guys face to face, show you that I'm just like a regular person and just like you guys, and to talk and just chat and just know what kind of stuff you're doing and how you've been influenced by my work. It's really humbling to me just to know how many of you are out there, and it just really cool experience for me. So I now cherish all of that for the rest of my life. So it's a really cool time, and I can't wait to go to more events like that. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. Wild Aqua Shell was in the BioEscape Competition, and for me that was the first type of competition I had ever done like that, and I'd like to do some more, even though I'm not really a competitive type of person. I thought it was a really cool experience, and I'd gladly do it again. But I won the People's Choice Award, and that was really cool because, as I said, I'd never done that sort of thing before, and I was going up against a ton of talented people, so it was awesome for me, and another reason why that was a really cool event. In 2019, I also think I've done some of my best work to date. All of those I shared with you guys on this channel in the form of project videos. We did 27 of those in total, but of those videos, I really think that all of them have been milestones or stepping stones for me in their own sort of way. And I just see how I'm progressing with each project. I think I'm getting better and better. The only problem with that is that as I do new stuff, I see my old stuff and I think, I gotta redo that project now because I think I could do much better. I could do it more efficiently, I could do it more advanced, explain it better, anything like that. And so in 2020 you can expect to see me redo a lot of previous setups. A lot of these Paludariums back here, I want to redo them. I think it could do better. I think I could do it more efficiently and just show you guys easier techniques that look better, all kinds of stuff like that. So expect those sort of things. But as I said, in 2020 we've done 27 projects in total, 9 of which were terrariums. We started the year off with the Klein bottle terrarium, which to this date was one of the more challenging builds I've ever done. Also, there was the satisfying and relaxing terrarium build. For me, that was one of the funnest builds I've done this year because I really got to be artistic with the video and how I conveyed that to you guys. And I think moving into 2020, I really want to do more experimentation with the video side of things. So obviously, I'm always experimenting with the projects, but I think the video, I really just want to do more in that aspect of things and just convey things a lot more artistically than I currently do. As I mentioned earlier, there was also the wedding terrarium. We did the simple and beautiful terrarium build, 2 renditions of the bio orb, the first of which being a standard type of setup, and then the second one being one with a pond in it, which for me was a really fun and cool project. More recently, there was the sundew terrarium, the living wall terrarium, which for me is probably one of my favorite builds so far, the tiny moss tree terrarium, and last week we did the Ants Canada challenge terrarium, which was a red and white themed terrarium. That was a really cool project because we auctioned them off and all of the proceeds are going to go to charity. I still have to reach out to the winner, but if all goes according to plan, someone's going to walk away with a really cool terrarium made by myself, and collectively we will have donated $450 to Ants Canada's charity of choice. This year we also made 3 ecospheres, including the moss ball tree ecosphere, which is one of my personal favorites, the ecosphere in a terrarium, and the sealed aquarium ecosphere. Let's not forget about the 4 Paludariums that we made this year, including MJ's Paludarium, the mini complete Paludarium, the 500-gallon Paludarium that I made at Pondemonium, and of course Samson's Paludarium. There were also 3 Ripariums, including the unique 1.3-gallon Riparium, the pond-themed Riparium, and more recently the foggy Riparium Bowl. For all of my life I've always wanted ponds, and in this year I finally made it happen with 3 ponds total, the first of which being the DIY pond, which for me is probably my personal favorite. So much work and planning went into that, and it functions so well. The water's always clear, and I was really excited to finally get my goldfish outside, which I just looked today and it was a little bit warmer of a day. They were swimming around in there, and trust me, it's been frozen over, all that sort of thing, so I'm excited to see that they're definitely going to make it through the winter. We also got the Aquascape Ecosystem Pond out front, which is really beautiful, and I just had a lot of fun planting it and working with it and doing that sort of thing, but I didn't put in as much work with that. Most of the work was done by the guys at Aquascape and Tussey Landscaping, but that was a really fun project because I got to befriend a lot of those guys, and my wife and I, we really enjoy that one because we just sit out on our little rocking chairs and just enjoy the sounds and sights of it. And I was also able to get my native fish out of the house and into there, and I also saw them this past day too after the pond had frozen over and all that sort of thing. So again, I'm excited to see that all the fish are going to overwinter just fine. Lastly was the mini indoor pond that I made for the rice fish I got from Lucas Bretz. For me, that's a really special project because I feel that anybody could do it, and it looks awesome. And I always just look over at that side of the room and I see it. It's such an eye-catching piece. I love it. Let's not forget about the 5 miscellaneous builds, including the terrestrial moss aquarium, the build that we did for our newly adopted gargoyle gecko Cynthia, The irony of the name Cynthia is that she was initially named Reptar. I wanted to name her something else because she was a female. The previous owner didn't know. My wife insisted Cynthia, and eventually I gave in, but as I said, the irony of that is that Cynthia is also a Rugrats name, so it's kind of goofy, but whatever. Our gargoyle gecko Cynthia, her new setup. We also did the tabletop waterfall, which for me was a personal favorite this year. It's really cool, simple, and I think anybody could do it. We also did the moss garden, and I finally got a chance to set up my very own bonsai tree. For me, this one was really fun because I've purchased trees in the past and they hadn't survived, but this was the first time I ever tried to make one from scratch myself. And although many of you don't like it or don't think that it's a nice looking tree, in my mind I like it and it's doing really well, so I'm just excited to see it and I can't wait for its future, and I can't wait to do more with bonsai going into 2020. And there's a retrospective look at 2019. As I've said, this has been the best year for the channel thus far, and really I have all of you guys to thank for it. For those of you who have subscribed, who always watch, who like, who comment, who share everything out, it really just helps to perpetuate this channel, to just show YouTube that you guys enjoy this content, which in turn shows it to a larger audience, which in turn continues to grow everything, and it's just a domino effect, if you will. And with all of those things, it just helps me to continue doing this, to make bigger and better projects, to reinvest money back into the videos themselves, so whether that be with the camera, with new lighting, other equipment that will really just help to expedite the process and potentially get me to the point to where I can upload more frequently, because for the longest time I've just been doing one video a week, and I think that one of my goals for 2020 is to get to the point where I can upload more frequently, possibly 2 videos a week. I think any more from that's really just going to take away from the channel, so I would ideally 2 videos a week. That's what my first plan is. If it gets to be more than that, then it gets to be more than that, but we'll see where the road goes. As I alluded to, I want to do a lot more animal related content this year. We're definitely going to revamp a lot of the setups that I currently have to better suit the animals and to look better as well. There's a few animals that I definitely want to get, like we're definitely going to get dart frogs in 2020. Mark my words, I've talked about it for a few years now, and once you guys see them in there, once it's all done, you understand why I waited as long as I did. And I really I just want to show that you guys, you don't need to buy animals as soon as you see them, and just really taking your time is a good way to go about doing things. And a lot of what I do on this channel is really methodical and thinking things out and just being patient. And it's not a skill, because it is a skill that I've always had, but to be patient, it's a very good attribute to have. All things aside, cool stuff coming in 2020. I got a lot of projects planned. Terrariums, Paludariums, aquariums, you name it. You're going to see all of the content that you know and love this channel for in 2020. I got a lot of really cool things planned as well that you have not seen yet, so stay tuned for all of that. I thank you guys again so much for your continued support. I wish you all the best in 2020, and I'll see you next time. Take care and peace.